So with almost anything in life, I think there's this concept called like the middle ground, which you do not want to be in, by the way. Let me explain this really as simply as I possibly can and break this down. So let's take like a an actual example. Let's say going to the gym, right? Going to the gym, let's say your goal, just very vaguely, very briefly, is to gain muscle and build like an aesthetic physique or whatever, right? And get bigger. So what you need to do obviously is go to the gym, but not only that, you need to go a certain number of days per week. So usually typically that would mean like maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 times a week at most, because you need like 1 or 2 days of recovery, right? For most people, I'd say. So let's say you need to go 4 to 6 times per week, whatever, and train, I don't know, push pull legs or upper lower split or whatever split you want to do that will help you achieve your goal for your physique. There's that side of it, so that's going all in, 4 to 6 times a week consistently, not like every day, proper recovery, proper diet, proper sleep. You're going all in on it. And then there's the extreme end, right? Not going at all. And then there's everything in between here. So I decided doing everything properly, the training, diet, sleep, everything on point, going consistently, giving it everything you have to get this physique, and going to the gym. And then you have not doing any of it, not going to the gym at all, not training, nothing. And then there's all this middle ground here. And especially here in this very middle ground between these both extremes, you don't want to be there at all, because that's the worst part about it. Because if you're in the middle ground and you're just like, let's say, I don't know, you're going like maybe a few times a week, 2 or 3 times, you're half-assing the workouts, you're not training properly maybe, or you're not eating a proper diet, getting enough sleep, whatever, and you're kind of just half-assing the work basically, to try and get to your goal. That's like the worst possible place to be in, and the gym is just the one practical example I'm giving. But that middle ground that I'm trying to describe to you here is like the worst possible thing to be in, because I would rather actually, in this case, not do anything at all than be in this middle ground. Because when you're in the middle ground, you're investing the time and the effort, but you're not even getting the full like ROI, return on investment on it basically. So basically what I mean is, like, when you're in this middle ground, like I so call this middle ground for doing gym or just anything, and it could be anything. Replace the gym with any other thing you want to do, whatever other thing you want to replace it with. But when you're in this middle ground, it's worse than actually not doing it at all. You'd rather go all in. You'd either be on extreme ends. You'd either go all in, or you'd rather just not do anything at all. Because this middle ground, you're like putting in the time. The worst part is you're putting in the time, which you're not going to get back, by the way. Once the time is gone, it's gone. And you're putting the effort and whatever else it takes, and you're putting in these 3 things, and you're not even getting the full return on your time and your energy and whatever effort you're giving towards it. When you're in this middle ground, like you're half-assing it or whatever, you're giving half effort. Because it's funny, because you're not getting either benefit. You're not getting like I'm trying to explain to you, you're not getting the benefit of going all in, but you're not getting the benefit of like not doing it at all. I guess you could call it a benefit, because if anything, like I said, not doing it at all is worse than being in this middle ground. So you'd rather get the benefit of going all in on something, or you'll get the benefit, so to speak, of not doing, or just not starting basically. And there might be people saying like, oh, but isn't it better to like, start something? Sure. I mean, there's some truth to that. Like, you'd rather at least start instead of like, delaying forever. But it's kind of like a separate thing. You'd want to, once, like, I get where they're trying to come from with the whole saying of like, I'd rather like at least try, even if I'm giving half my effort, rather than not doing it all at all. And I get where they're coming from when they say that, but it's just, if we're thinking over the long run, and if we're thinking like, okay, at the end of the day, what's the best side to be on, I guess you could say, you would rather either be all in or all out, basically. You want either the benefits of going all in or the benefits of being all out. Being in this middle ground is the worst. I'm telling you right now, it is the worst place to be in. So all I have to say is, do not be in this middle ground. And I just took the gym as one example, but you could replace that with anything else. I don't know, learning a new skill, picking up a hobby, I don't know, anything. Yeah, so just don't be in this middle ground, please. I'm begging you, because it's the worst place to be in.